What's going on, Paisanos? V here, and I just got 17th place at a 203-man Lexington Regionals. I went X2, 6 wins, 2 losses, and to be honest with you, I probably would have went undefeated, and I'll talk about that later on in this video. But I played Despia. I think it's the best deck of the format. If you're good enough of a player to make it the best deck of the format, I do think if you're not like super skilled, or if you're not used to making, not making mistakes, I do think decks like Prankets are still good. In fact, I would argue it's probably the best deck that a majority of players can play. But if you're a Shadow player, Despia's is just a better version. It's a deck that allows you to make a lot of great plays the more you don't make mistakes. And I really do enjoy that about this deck. Make a mistake, the deck tells you what it needs to do. And yeah, we'll go to deck profile real quickly. Before I go to deck profile, I just want to give a bunch of shout-outs to a bunch of great people. Obviously, Imperium Duelist, always giving the hookup, always appreciate Imperium Duelist. SmartTCG.com for my field centers. The guy, I text the guy all the time. Great people over there at SmartTCG.com. The Zeus field center is almost sold out, so you want to grab this before it's gone. And of course, my good friends that I talk with Yu-Gi-Oh! A good amount. My buddy Joe. Of course, my best friend Joe, my friends Bosch. I love the crap out of that kid. Big shout out to you for always annoying me and coming in chat when we're not talking Yu-Gi-Oh! And talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Who else is there? All the guys from my locals I go to, every single one of you. Thank you, every single one of you, for the proper harassment to be a better player. So I love every single one of you guys. I love everyone watching this video. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go over the deck. I'm gonna go assign an extra, and we'll talk about a couple of things. Right out the gate, we have 3 branded fusion. Oh my god, webcam's acting a little bit weird. Let me see if I turn that light off. No, it's still crap. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to say it out loud. Hopefully you can see the picture and imagine it in your mind. The deck is 45 cards, by the way. 3 branded fusion, 3 branded opening, 3 Alibra Despia, 2 Despian tragedy, 1 Despian comedy, 1 ab libitum, and double fallen albaz. So this is the Despia lineup. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that right there for now. All right. So looking at the Adventure lineup, 3 Water Enchantress, 1 Wandering Griffin Rider, 3 Rider Aramazir, 1 Faithful Adventure, and 1 Dracoback. So that's the Adventure lineup. Pretty basic for the Adventure lineup, but I feel like the whole lineup was needed. We ran the Frightfur package. Now, I said the minute we got Despias, I don't think we need Frightfurs, and I am so glad to be wrong. This package is amazing in this deck. I've had a ton of resources due to the fact that I would open a card like Frightfur Patchwork. I'll talk about that more later on, like I said. All right, so 3 Frightfur Patchwork, double Polymerization, and double Edge M Chain. Now, the rest of the deck is cards that are not the engine, so let's go see what else it is. You got your Fairy Tale Snow, double Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion. I didn't run that many hand traps. I felt like we could break any board. We have a Pot Prosperity and double Talents. This worked out perfectly, actually. 1 Call by the Grave, 1 Foolish Burial, and 3 Sewer Polymerization in the main. This card in the main was kind of cracked. Yeah, this card was absolutely broken. We'll go over to the rest of the deck, so hold on 1 second. Just pop this away. All right. All right, let's talk about the side deck, because I didn't like it as much. I knew I had to change 1 card out, which I forgot to do the day of the event. And it prevented me from going X1 or top 8, whatever. All right, 3 Lightning Storms. This card's amazing. A lot of players are trying to say you can run like evenly match. It's Lightning Storm. You run Lightning Storm. This card's amazing. Double Twin Twisters, 3 Spear Mode, 2 DD Crow, 3 Dimension Barrier, and 2 Zombie World. This should be a Banshee. I forgot to buy it. So yeah, I forgot to buy the Banshee, so I just played 2 Zombie World. Definitely cost me a game. It's whatever. All right, let's talk about the extra deck. We have I didn't even sort this extra deck out, but it's whatever. We have 1 Dragon Stapelio, 1 Mud Dragon, the Super Poly targets, 3 Albion. 3 Albion, definitely worth it. I know people are saying, well, you manage resources, you could play 2. Yeah, 3 is almost perfect. We have 2 Guardian Chimera. These are now we're going like a bunch of 2-ofs. Double Guardian Chimera, double Mirror Jade, double Libellion. This is nothing too crazy. I'm also playing 2 Masquerades. 2 Masquerades are amazing. I don't ever want to take this card down to 1 unless we get the new card coming out in the new set, but this card really is great. And then we play 1 Link Spider and 1 Predator Plant Inverted Anaconda. So that's the whole lineup of the deck. This is my first physical regionals back. I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh locals here and there, but for the most part, my first physical regionals, and immediately get a top cut. Top, I got a 17, so I mean that's absolutely amazing. Let's talk about a couple of things. If you guys want to know more about this deck, I'm going to start streaming on Twitch soon. I'm going to start trying to get some like setups, some schedule set up to stream on Twitch. So you want to check me out, watch this deck profile in action, twitch.tv, YGOPaisano. Links will be down below. All right. So these are kind of like necessary. I know people are playing the the Link 1. I don't like it. I understand like if you summon and go into and take your opponent's monster, that's cool. But the minute you Link summon, you're basically telling your opponent, hey, I don't want to activate Brand of Fusion this turn. The only time you want to Link summon is when you want to go to Anaconda to do Brand of Fusion. So that's why I want to have the direct line to get there. Double Masquerade's insane. I feel like people go into one a lot. It gets blown out, and later on in the game state, when your opponent's low on life, why not go into the second one? Like, it comes up a lot. Try it out, if anything. Lubellions, Mirror Jades, Chimeras, I mean, these are all standard. You gotta run 3 of these. As far as Albion, so I like Albion a lot. The fact that you got Albion Send Snow is actually insanely relevant. You don't want to really open with that, but you want to do it like after your turn 1. It's really, really important. A lot of games, I do go through 3 of my Albions. I'm never cutting this down a card lower than that, especially when I run a card like Snow. I mean, that's just insane. So I'll tell you right now, Mud Dragon or Swamp never came up. I'm probably gonna still keep this in the deck, even though I want to play like Star Event and Fusion Dragon, Tri-Fire Overtime. I want to play those cards. I still think Mud Dragon is a great card, so that's why I'm gonna keep it in the deck still. Draxapelli was insane. You know, I went this card a lot as well today. It's a really good card. All right. Let's talk about changes. Once again, this is Banshee. So I don't remember my wins as much as I remember my losses in this event. Round 1, I lost to Prank Kids. 40 cards, 41 card Prank Kids. Just got burned in time. It happens. I definitely was waking up mentally at that state. And after that loss, I was wide awake. Losing time's never fun. And then round 7, I played against Flunderies. I played 3 Flunderies. I beat 2 of them. And the one I lost to is because... Zombie World. I mean, if this was Banshee, I went first game 3. I Brand Fusion, and I could have brought out Zombie World with Banshee, Underworld Banshee. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do that because I didn't have it. And that definitely cost me. I got Dark Rule No More, board broken the following turn, and the game over. Had this been out on the field, it would have been a totally different story. So yeah, if you are looking to build this deck, please make sure to play Banshee, not to Zombie World. It's insanely important. One card can actually help win you a game against an entire deck, which is like a really good deck in the meta right now. All right. 3D barriers. Some people are not playing this card. I don't know why. This card's broken. Even better if you play Cross the Designator. I don't run it in this build. You can't run it in this build. But D-Barrier is such a good card right now. When you're playing against a deck like Prank Kids, they're gonna fusion. You know they're gonna fusion. When you're playing the mirror match, you still play this because if you have established board, this card says your opponent can't play their board. Free win is what that is. So I think Metro Barrier is a phenomenal card. Definitely need it in the side deck. 2 DD Crow. So the big question was, why did I main 2 Bell and side DD Crow? Bell is very different than DD Crow as far as its uses. Crow's more of like a snap banish, where Bell kind of just shuts down a lot of things. It shuts down DPE, it shuts down Prank Kids, it's even good against the mirror match, and to be honest with you, you might even want to consider playing a third one if you can, because it's so good against the mirror match at stopping your opponent from playing on your turn. The main card your opponent uses to play on your turn is Branded in red, and with Ghost Bell, they can't do that. So I was like, this is a good card, and yet, don't get me wrong, DD Crow's kind of the same thing. It banishes, but why would I want to banish my opponent's card if they're going to get a Despia Tragedy and I'm going to DD Crow it? They're just going to get an advantage from that. Why would I want to do that? I'd rather Bell it and stop them. So that's why I decided to do that. DD Crow's still a great card. Don't get me wrong. In certain matchups, this my card might be coming out. I might put a third Bell in and then make this something else. I still don't know yet, but it wasn't a bad card, but I didn't really see it the entire event. Spear mode. I never got a chance to spear my opponent. Though I will say, I played Prosperity. One of the course review was a spear mode, and when my opponent went, he ended on 2 monsters, and that was fun. So I still like spear mode. I think spear was a great card, and the fear of spear mode is more than enough for me to want to play it still. I think this was an excellent card. Another thing is, why did I play this and not like Harpy's Featherduster or Cosmic Cyclone? And why am I playing 3 Lightning Storms? Well, this card's a blowout. Why would I not want to play this? Like, people are saying, oh, you can just play like Harpy's Featherduster and 2 Lightning Storms. Why? This is Harvey's Fedluster. And this is also a Geki. Like, oh, Lightning Storm. Why would I, not Lightning Storm, Lightning Vortex. Why would I not want to play the better version? I did have 2 extra slots, and obviously I still wanted to dedicate them to back row removal. You can make an argument for, like, Red Reboot, but I think Twin Twisters is better, especially how the current meta is. It hits more decks than the current meta. Red Reboot's terrible against Flunders. It's terrible against Praying Kids. It's terrible against any Shadow variant if they're running around still. It's terrible against those, where Twin Twisters is really good against all those decks, and actually can help you, like, secure your opponent from not creating a board state. So this is why this is in here, and this is a blowout card. One of my games I played against my opponent was, I just want to talk about this game, and I hope he's watching. This kid went turn 1, hold on a second, let me see if I can create the board. Turn 1, he went, let's see, Mirror Jade, Dragoon, Winda, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, but I think also he had, like, Albi on the field. This was his board turn 1 against me. It was, like, Dragoon, Winda, I'm pretty sure it was Mirror Jade. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that he had Mirror Jade, and this. And we still played. And we won that game. The thing about, like, this deck is, like, one of my favorite things about this deck is kind of like Shadows, and no offense to the kid, what I'm about to say, but it's true with this deck, not with that game, obviously, but if both players are given the same amount of cards an advantage, so we both have about the same average hand, the better play will always win, like 99% of the times. Why is that? Well, because the better player knows when to activate cards. The player that is not good might not activate a card at a better time, and that can cost them the game. Once again, this plays exactly like Shadows. Shadows are the same exact thing. If anyone watches my Shadow videos, you know when I mean it. When I say the better player can win a majority of the games if both players are given an equal hand, because the better player knows when to play perfectly, as opposed to the other player who might not play as good. And that 1-2 little mistakes, that's game. It's huge. So that's why I'm a big advocate for this deck. I feel like not only is this deck one of the best decks in the meta, if not the best deck in the meta, in my opinion, I do believe, like, this deck in the mirror match is still really exciting. Because if we're both given an average hand, who's better is going to be shown in that game. And I love that. And not to say that kid I played is, better, whatever. His build was a lot different than mine, but it was still a great game and a fun grind, and we definitely threw down. As far as the deck, some people are running 3 Tragedy. I think Comedy's great. Comedy kind of threatens your opponent, and I did that a lot this weekend, threatening my opponent with Comedy. So I think Comedy's a great card. 2 Tragedy is really all you need. 3 Alibur is almost a must. 3 Branded Opening. So people are playing 2 Branded in red. This card's insane. And my board's bad. My board's not as good, and I open Adventures and a Branded in red, and, like, I don't know, any of the Despia monsters with albaz. Like, next turn I could go Chimera. Like, it's pretty insane. So, yeah, Branded Red's a great card. I think a lot of players are really underestimating this card a lot right now. They are playing 2, but I want to open this if I can. If I can open this with a Branded Fusion, like, this is full board. Like, 100%. So why would I not want to maximize on the cards that I always want to see in my opening hand in order to establish that full board? The engine, so this engine is kind of wild as well. So when you're playing the Frightful package, you can go into Masquerade a lot easier, which is a big deal when you're going first against, like, Flunderies, going first against, like, Prank Kids, where they have to establish multiple plays to get to their board state. And when you have this kind of board, when you have this kind of hand against them, when you open this and, like, a Despian card, like the Despian Branded Fusion, you're gonna make that kind of board where you're gonna have a Mirror Jade, and you're gonna have a Masquerade on board, and it makes it really hard for your opponent to play around it, especially if you have to dedicate multiple plays, and they got a banish on their turn as well. So it's really good. I think this is a great engine. I was definitely wrong about this, and I'm glad I was and found that out, because this definitely was so clutch this weekend. Listen, I know some people are hit or miss with the Adventure package. I personally think Adventure package is a great package. The thing is, does it work perfectly in this deck? No. There are times where you'll draw, like, right at Armazier, and then you'll draw, like, an Alibur, and then you'll go, what do I do here? Well, the answer is simple. You have 2 options. You can summon Alibur, try to get to the Branded Fusion, or you can ride Armazier and link your way up to Verde Anaconda. Peg doesn't like when to get to the Branded Fusion. An Omni Gate is nowhere near as good as getting the Branded Fusion. If you summon this and get stopped, fine, but Omni Gate was always never going to work at that point. So that's why I'm a bigger fan of doing that. Though I will say, if you open, like, Branded Fusion and right at Armazier, that is a great feeling. If you open Branded Fusion, fight for any of the fight for stuff, whether it's Patchwork or whether it's Edgem Chain, and Branded Fusion, like, that is, like, the god hand. And it's so easy to open because they're all 3-ups, and the deck count once again is 45 cards. Super optimization in main is great. I think this card's excellent. It's useful in the majority of the games. When you're playing against the mirror match, this card's broken. When you're playing against prank kids, this card's insane. Because a lot of times they want to go like DPE. And then they'll try to fusion your turn, or they'll leave the Verde Anaconda out there, and you'll just go, cool, free cards, and just take it. And the cool thing about prank kids is when you super apply them, you go into Draxipelia, you get rid of the Verde Anaconda, you get rid of their DPE, so they're screwed on that. And then you use Draxipelia, you leave Draxipelia on board, so when you activate another card, and then Griffin, you just Draxipelia that bad boy, and Griffin ain't doing nothing. 2 cards destroys their entire board. So that's why I like this card a lot. This card's absolutely insane. Listen, one of the things that people are going to be picking at me is my choices as far as talent and prosperity. You don't want to draw 2 talents. You don't want to draw 2 prosperity. That's that simple. If you open 2 talents, you better say to yourself, oh, please let them do something to me so I can activate my cards. We're in a meta in which a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are playing cards on our turn. Whether it's DPE, whether it's Flunderies trying to do their full combo on your turn, whether it's the mirror match trying to do it. Like, everyone's activating card effects on your turn. That's why talents is such a good card. This card's insane. You might want to even make an argument to play 3 talents in the main because you're more than likely always going to be able to resolve it because your opponent is going to want to crack cards on your turn all the time. Sword Soul, another great example. Like, they're just gonna play cards on your turn, and there's a lot of games in which that happened. By the way, when I said before about that kid with the whole dragoon setup, one of the cards that was clutch was talents. Of course it is. Why would it not be? I activated talents and attempt to take his monster. He negated it, and then I just like kill his board and kill him that turn. Like, this card's broken. Like I said, you might want to play a second one. I still think Prosperity is amazing still. I'm trying 1 out, and to be honest with you, I think it's the perfect ratio. It's so scuffed. This is so scuffed. And you might say, wait a minute, V. It's only because you own a Starlight Prosperity. Wrong. I sold a bunch of cards at this regionals to vendors, okay? And I had enough to buy Prosperities, and I still didn't buy the other Prosperities because I think this ratio works. I don't know why. If anyone knows math, please help me out. This just works perfectly. I don't have a reason why it works perfectly. I can't tell you. I hate Yu-Gi-Oh math. I like playing this deck over and over again, and after playing and doing test hands for like 100, 200 test hands, this works. So there's math behind it probably. Quote me on that. Cold by the Grave, Foolish Burial. I mean, these are like the snap must-haves. And then Snow, this card was insane. If you're not playing Snow with this deck, you're not doing it right. Okay. And then with 2 Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion. So I didn't want to run a lot of hand traps, but the ones I did want to run, I wanted to be really important. And probably the best hand trap in the game right now is Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion. The only way this is not the best hand trap is your opponent gets to Rider Armazia first. That's one of the reasons why I didn't win my round 1, was my opponent every game got Rider Armazia, put that on board, and just went off. I think we went best of 3. I did beat him in game 2. But in game 3, once again, open Rider Armazia. Pretty good card. He also impaired my Masquerade, so there's that with prank kids. But what are you gonna do? But Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion is definitely one of those cards that I feel like if they don't open that right out of Mazir, you're gonna proc this card. Playing against a Mirror Match, it's an insane card. Play this card against prank kids, when they go activate to tribute to go do their little effects, you just Ghost Spell that, and they ain't tributing nothing. They're adding nothing to their hand. They're losing resources with 1 card. That's huge. I mean, like I said, this card's an insanely good card. The only matchup I would take this card out in is against Flunderies. But then again, these 2 could be your Zombie World, and ideally be your Banshee. Overall, though, I thought this was a great deck. Like I said, I'll be playing this deck more. This is probably the build I'm going to be running moving forward, though I will say I'm going to be playing every single version of Despias. I already have. I've showed you on this channel a Dragoon Despias, which is a really good deck. There's a build also running around that runs a small Shadow engine just to bring out Winda. That's a really cool build as well. This is I guess the Frightful build, we want to call it. I love this build. I think this deck is almost perfect besides a couple of changes. And I'll have some changes coming up in the future. Like I said, if you want to check me out, make sure to hit the subscribe button on the channel. I'm going to have more Despia stuff. This is my baby of the format. I've been waiting for this deck for a year. It's finally here, and we get to play it. It's your boy V, and you boys all have a great day.